pretty much never. Oh, okay. All right. So when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh, let's knock out the Yu-Gi-Oh thing. Yu-Gi-Oh ban list. And what actually do you guys think is going to be the meta? Because I mean, I don't know. Like there were some things that I thought were cool about this. The Nightmare Griffin ban. Okay, I can rock with that. This one, I don't know, man. Did Josh Schmidt get this card banned? Like this card's a problem. Really? This feels like when, I mean, granted, I think this card is like stronger than Link Karibo, but bro, like we have so many Link monsters banned. And some of them definitely earned it, chat, but like why the fuck we ban Link Karibo? Like why did we ban Link Decoder? Like okay, it gives you 2 links of material. I still ask, why the fuck did we ever ban Mathmax Circular? Which, by the way, press 1 if Cap was always right about that. That was a ludicrously stupid ban. We banned Mathmax Circular when Mathmax was like the 8th best deck of the format. Cool. So it's just unplayable. Like what? I think Circular is it's either at 1 or 3 now. Reptile Rituals seem pretty good. Isn't Malice hit because of the new... Wait, because post new set, Malice could easily play under Nibiru. Hot Pain. It's so Circular could come back. But, okay, but here's the thing, though. I understand that the argument of, like, Mathmech does an insane amount with 1 card, right? That card obviously is Circular. But really... Has Mathmech changed all that much from the point? Like, what is Mathmech really doing anything different than when Circular got banned? And is it that OP? Like, yeah, don't get me wrong. You get a lot of value out of 1 specific card, and they have a lot of ways to get to that card. And some people are like, Cap, I don't like playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Where you have 1 card starter and 4 hand. Like, okay, I guess, but like, if you're afraid of fucking Mathmech, like, get good at Yu-Gi-Oh! Or something. I'm afraid of Raziel. I'm afraid of a boss monster that literally said, like, trap cards are unplayable. I talked about this months ago, chat. Mathmech Detonator made trap decks unplayable. Trap decks could not exist as long as Detonator was, like, a card. You breathe, that shit just blows up your... Didn't Detonator, like, not target, too? Detonator is like not once per turn, not once per chain, doesn't target, and also if you have the 1 counter trap, chat, that used to beat all those negation type, all those boss monsters, that card called Solemn Strike, because I used to use that to like beat pretty much any like negation card. Like, oh, flip skill drain, oh, you try to negate, cool, Solemn Strike, break your whole board. Or activate Rivalry. Okay, you try to use Savage to negate, activate Strike, break your whole board with Eldritch. And Detonator just like, oh, well, I don't die. So you Solemn Strike me? Cool, I just live. Like, what? Fuck that card. Anyways. It does target but any card. My mistake. Odeon's trap deck is a top that's a little copium. Well, hold on, wait. Are you talking for the new format, Rye? For the new format, maybe. But like I know the Odeon deck topped the regional, but it's like not a contender. I mean, it's a cool deck, but it's like pre-Banlist, that shit was like, because I don't think it topped at all at YCS Houston. Oh, it's for the new format. Okay, for the new format, fair enough. Mathmech is ass. There are 2 less Bestials. Okay, let's see. Abyss Dweller was... I mean, this was like... I don't know. You guys want to know my real thoughts on Abyss Dweller? And I know I'm on an island on this, and everyone is going to be like, Cap, this is the wrong... I actually feel like Abyss Dweller kept graveyard decks in check. And... It was like degenerate the way it was being used in Raziel, because Raziel happens to be a rank 4 deck, so it can easily make it. And it's not like rank 4s are hard to make, but like, I don't know, if you play like Vanquish Soul, you can make rank 4s, but you have these like actual resources. If you play against like a deck, chat, that abuses the graveyard, it's like, how are you supposed to counter that shit? Like, every card that they made to counter it is like on the fucking FNL list, you know what I mean? Sam was right. Yeah, I feel the same way. That's just my 2 cents. I actually like this ban, chat. And this is not a ban I think anyone saw coming. Bahamut Shark, and I'll tell you why. I think all of these deck chat that are just like spamming Bahamut Shark into Toad, I think that's bullshit. Like, there's no reason for tier limit to be able to make to be able to put Toad on the board, chat. There's no reason that like Raziel should be able to put Totally Awesome on the board. I don't necessarily have a Hero. Hey, yeah, Hero's another deck that like could. Hero actually did it during I think it was Art V that Hero used to end with like boards that had Toad because they can make Bahamut Shark because Bubble Man was level 4 water. I don't have such a problem with Toad, chat, even though in a vacuum, Toad, you could argue that Toad is one of the best negation cards ever. Like he is the power of that card in a vacuum, chat, is probably even higher than Baron to Floor, or at least he's on that level. Negate a card, destroy it, take the card, which is fucking insane because I can't think of another card that has that. You take the card that you negate, put it on your board for you to use, and then also you get a water monster back from the graveyard, so it recycles resources. The card's insane. But I like the idea, chat. I like the idea of Toad. Yeah, Fluffles is another one. Like, Fluffles should not be able to drop Totally Awesome on you. But I do like the idea of the archetype that Toad was designed for, chat, which is like the Paleozoic deck, being able to have this insanely powerful boss monster. Like, I think that's fine. Or people being able to summon it in frogs. Not sharks, but frogs. Or, I mean, ironically, you can do it in ice barriers too. But, like, I like Toad as a card, but I don't like random decks being able to summon it because you can make rank 4s. If that makes sense. Oh, yeah, Sprite. I'm sorry. Yeah, Sprite. Ice barriers could do it in, well, it wasn't even so much ice barrier. It was Sprite because of the ice barrier play. Let me see. Oh, Bistio Druid Worm. Okay, so Druid Worm got limited. This is fair. I think most people were saying they wanted Magnemut banned. But I think that also people were like, all right, if you're not going to ban Magnemut, then at least, you know, hit other Bistios, right? And I think Sorneer kind of sucks. So what's the other good one, chat? Baldrake. Because in the OCG, I think like every single Bistio is limited to 1. And can we say this, chat? Because again, I don't want to Yu-Gi-Oh you guys to death because I don't want to Yu-Gi-Oh myself to death. Are there certain archetypes, I don't even know if we want to call them full archetypes, but certain themes where you're like, all right, this series of cards was a mistake, and you know they're a mistake because like all of them are on the fucking FNL list, chat. You know what I mean? I often said that with the Nightmare monsters. I mean, like, look, how many Nightmares did we ban, by the way, chat? Like 3 of them? So we banned what? Griffin, Goblin, and Mermaid? Like, come on. Nightmares were a mistake. Like, for real. Nightmares were a mistake. Like, half of them are banned. And then, and I'm not saying this because I'm an Eldritch player, chat, but like, Bistials, at first I was like, well, they only affect light and dark monsters. You know what I mean? But then, like, you play the game long enough, you're like, damn, these cards are, like, it's not just that they're DD Crows, but then they also give you a body. And then sometimes that body does something as well. Forget just attacking and stuff like that. But Druid Worm, that body can send one of your opponent's bodies to the grave, or Magnemut, that body searches another body. Kashtira? I like Kashtira as an archetype. I know a lot of people don't like Cash, but the reason I like Cash is it reminds me of True Draco, chat. The Cash monster, like, I think it's cool that like how the Cash monsters were built, where you can normal summon them, but you have to have a completely empty field. So it's like, all right, there is a drawback, and like some of they have this search effect, which is like kind of just Yu-Gi-Oh 101 at this point. But to get their really strong effect, you either have to attack or your opponent has to do something. It's kind of like with True Draco monsters. Like, they didn't do anything unless your opponent did something. Like, your opponent has to act, and then the True Draco monsters just react to that. Kashtira monsters are kind of like that. It's like, okay, if you want to banish something with Fenrir, like, your opponent kind of needs to do something first. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I thought Cash was cool. Goblin and Mermaid are at 3 in Master Duel. Yeah, talking about Master Duel, that's just opening up a whole different can of worms, because then you start having 3 different ban lists where Master Duel, OCG, TC, I can't keep up with all that. All the Link Frames cards. Well, I just mean Bistios, chat. Like if you look at OCG, like every bestial monster is like limited. Even Lebellion is limited. Like Soranir, Magnemont, Druis Worm, Baldrake, Lebellion, like every bestial. So I think you can make an argument that bestials were probably a mistake. I'm just gonna say this, chat. And again, you guys don't have to agree with me. That's fine. I believe the Yu-Gi-Oh community cried this card onto the ban list, chat. And I do not think that happens. I think that happens way less than you guys think, right? And generally, it just kind of, it tends to really just kind of happen with floodgates for the most part. I believe the Yu-Gi-Oh community cried this card on the ban. People like Gary, that fucking cringe weirdo, who made his entire identity hating one card, which is so fucking weird and lame. You know what I mean? Every floodgate was cried onto the list. Yeah, sorry. That's what I'll say recently though. Because I would say that happened with Skill Drain. Shifter, it's been a long time coming because people have been complaining about the card for more or less like 3 years. Yeah, I would say at least since 2020, chat. Would you guys agree? People have really started, they started complaining about Shifter back when like Flu really started getting good. You know what I mean? Because it's like Mystic Mine. Yeah, same type of thing. Masterpiece came off the list. Definitely was overdue. Mathmech Circular. I'm gonna die on this hill, chat. I don't believe this card deserved to be banned. I just don't. I like, if you're gonna tell me that Mathmech was gonna beat Raziel for being the best deck of the format, or it was going to beat, like, people were gonna play Mathmech over Malice, okay, I guess, but like, I don't believe that. I don't see the format where Mathmech was gonna. This is also just another deck that, like, you shifted this deck, you just pass turn. Maybe Shifter was too strong, chat. Press one if Shifter was too strong. Shifter actually just said pass turn to so many. I thought that was hilarious, bro. You see a Flu player just activate Shifter. Like what happened to Selza. When Selza was playing Mermail, chat, and he played against Malice, he goes first, homeboy just shifters him, Selza just passes he just passes turn and gets kills. Oh, that's so funny. I don't like Shifter going to 1 though. Like, does this make sense, chat? For shit, I don't like when a card gets limited, but that effectively bans the card. Triple Tactics Talent, even though I think talent should be banned, you can still just play 1 talent, chat. You can still play 1 talent, and it's like, okay, well, I can thrust for the talent, and maybe I draw it. If I don't draw it, no problem. If I do draw it, talents is a busted card. But, like, who's playing 1 Shifter? Shifter already has the drawback of, if you have a graveyard, you can't use it. So, like, you playing 1 copy of Shifter? You know what I mean? Like, what's the point? New Maxi. My Ritual Beast deck is sad. Yeah, there were a lot of decks that actually benefited from Shifter. Kashtira wants their stuff banished. Fluwandereeze wants their stuff banished. And Ritual Beast wants their stuff. People were just like, Shifter is a stun card. Okay, but Ritual Beast is not a stun deck. That's a combo deck. You know what I mean? Like, Kashtira is not a stun deck. That's a mid-range deck. So people saying, oh, well, only stun decks play Shifter. Like, that's not true. Those are like YCS winning decks, by the way. You know what I mean? Those are Cash. When Cash was at its peak, it was like easily the best deck in the game. All right, moving on. I like this Raziel Detonator, chat, because this is personal bias, chat, and I do think that this card got hit on its own merits. I'm not just saying it because I don't like it as a card. This card invalidated the way that Cap G generally plays Yu-Gi-Oh. So that's like my personal issue with Raziel Detonator. You guys know that I like to play set 5 back row. You guys had seen a little meme of me, set 5 pass. You know what I mean? Probably my favorite deck to do that with was Eldritch, but I did it with Altergeist and other decks too. This deck, like, this card was the bane of that existence, chat. You couldn't really, because you activate 1 trap, and then your opponent just says, all right, cool, I'll activate Detonator, and I'll force this. You didn't want to use this other trap, but I'm forcing you to use it now. And if you activate it, then I'll just blow up another trap. Now I've made you use 3 traps just to try to out 1 card. Like, trap decks can't live off that type of card economy, chat. They can't. You win with trap decks not because each individual trap is powerful, but it's the economy of having so many of them, and your opponent generally can't answer them because nobody plays back row removal in Yu-Gi-Oh. But this card was just like the be all end all Swiss Army knife, and it just murdered trap decks. So if a trap deck ever got behind Raziel, the second detonator's on the field, the game's over. You know what I mean? Dryden, yeah. So that's another thing, chat. So there's like two things that bug me, right? It's like, how can you have Raziel Detonator, which is infinitely better than Zodiac Trident, and yet Zodiac Trident is still banned, chat? Like, come on. Who thinks Dryden is better than this card? I mean, you can make an argument that Dryden is technically easier to summon because you only need one exceed material, but like, why? This card is Dryden on crack. Anyways, also, I thought it was a little weird, chat, that they didn't bring back Wind-Up Carriers and Mighty. Killer Jetstorm is asking me about Crystron. Killer Jetstorm, you can't ask me a question that specific, or that kind of like, that specific but also niche at the same time, right? The reason why is because you're asking me about a very niche deck in the meta. So like, unless you think Cap G plays that deck, my Yu-Gi-Oh knowledge is not high enough anymore where I can just break down and analyze any deck. If this was like a year ago, oh yeah, sure. But like, you can't be like, hey Cap, I'm trying to, what's like a niche deck, chat, but could probably like top of regionals that might be fairly new. Let me see. Oh. Actually, I'll give you some OCG decks. You can't be like Odeon. That could work. You can't be like, Cap, what do you think of the K9 deck? That just like, bro, if I haven't watched shitty replays of it, and even when I watch shitty replay, like, for me to really dive into it, chat, I have to be some type of vested, right? Or I have to be invested in it. I'm not a Yu-Gi tuber anymore, so like, I don't really need to be invested in these decks if I don't instantly have some type of attraction to them. But there's no other drawing force for me to be like, oh, this looks cool. Why, research everything. Like, I got other shit to do, chat. Level 1 Mage. Spy Fox, where's your cousin at? Is full power Zodiac still a threat? Full power Zoo would be good. I can't say it would be I don't know if it would be better than Raziel. Like, wouldn't you still just get fucked by a card like D-Barrier? People would probably play Fiendsmith in it because it's really not that many good Zodiac monsters, like main deck monsters. All the Zoo cards that are busted live in the extra deck, like Dryden and Broad Bull. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure. They'd be able to do some cool stuff because Zoo does give you a lot of bodies, and you can turn those bodies into like Link monsters. But then it's like, how many good generic Link monsters do we have? We don't have Appaloosa and stuff like that where you can just turn random bodies into negations. The best you're getting is like IP, SP, what else we have? Oh, we unbanned Brilliant Fusion. That's kind of cute. Yeah, people had talked about this, chat. And I know there was a lot of people that were like, but it's at 1, bro. What are you doing? You also have to play a brick. Brilliant Fusion is a lovely card. I love Brilliant Fusion. Cross out Designator. This and Talents are good hits, chat. I said this like forever ago. These cards that invalidate hand traps are not healthy for the game. They're bad for the game. I don't know why people fought me on that, chat. These cards like Called by the Grave, Cross out Designator, to a lesser extent Talents, they punish you if we're at the point, chat, where decks are so strong that you have to hand trap them, otherwise their boards are just like unbreakable, then why would we punish you for trying to hand trap if we acknowledge that most of the hand traps aren't broken? I mean, yeah, people might be like, oh, Cat, what about Droll and Shifter and Murchami? Whatever, man. I'm not getting into that argument. I like TTT going second. Yeah, but going second, it's okay. Going first, you basically say to your opponent, how dare you have the audacity to hand trap me? Because you had the audacity to hand trap me, you lose the game. I'm gonna rip the best card in your hand, and I get full knowledge of your hand, and you probably lose. Let's see. Bonfire got hit, which is that's kind of cool. A lot of decks using Bonfire. They could have really kind of did this earlier because Bonfire is one of those cards, chat, that it carried over from format to format, and you're talking about multiple best decks of the format playing the same card. Usually when that happens, that card gets hit. At least after the second time, because obviously Snake Eye played this card, and then now you have Razio, which isn't even a fire deck, but whatever. Centurion hit. How dare you, sis? Level 1 mage. How are you? Wait, I'm in Guatemala. Trump. Press F to pay respects for level 1 mage, chat. He got deported for B. I mean, I feel bad because I think all of our California residents are pretty much they're at risk of being deported. This includes you, Spy Fox, so you might need to start hiding. By the way, I think it's funny we forgot Heavenly Prison as a level 10 monster. Not me. If you play Eldritch, because I did play a build of Eldritch where it was like just Golden Lord and then Heavenly Prison, and I exceed a couple of times with it. It didn't come up that often, but like, yeah, I exceed a couple of times with them because Golden Lord is he's 10 as well, which satisfies the condition of one of the spells in Odeon. That I wouldn't have thought of. I need a white girl. You need to marry her. Let's see. Okay. Talents also, like, I would prefer Talents and Crossout to be banned, chat, with Called by the Grave. I don't like these cards. This, I knew that they would hit Raziel, but they hit 3 of them. That is, like, when I heard all the Raziel hits, I was like, damn. Also, hold on. Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought they only semi-limited Black Dragon and not White Dragon, but I was like, I think they did both of them. Yeah, they went ham on Raziel, chat. I mean, to limit Detonator and hit, you basically had 4 hits directly to the deck. Konami doesn't usually do that, chat. I cannot think of the last time where you had 4 direct hits to a deck. I mean, I feel like they didn't even, Tier? Maybe like Tier was like the last time. They don't generally do that, chat. You're not getting 4 hits to a deck. Maybe you get 1, 2, 4. I'm talking direct hits. Like, this name is going down, this name's going down, this name's going down, and that name's going to 1. That's a lot. They kind of did the same thing to Malice. Malice got 3 names, and then it also got its field spell hit, which Malice is probably in a better position, but now you don't have Shifter anymore, so there's that. There's other cards, chat, like, you guys know where I stand on Ava. Stupid ban. Like, I get that it's not, I get that card is not banned now, but there are certain cards, chat, that when they get banned, I will stand on the mountain, chat, and I'll be like, this card should not have gotten banned. Cards that I have done that with: Mathmax Circular, Link Karibo, Ava. Like, you really need to ban these cards? Seriously? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing that for any of these cards. Well, maybe Link Decoder. But, you know, when we banned Ava, I'm like, what the fuck? Why are we banning Ava? Like, people out here afraid of Drytron or something? Like, I don't know. Ava ban was Cope. Gumlock. Bro, that card is trash. Yeah, that card is trash. Maybe you guys can say I'm wrong about that. We're never going to see eye to eye on Topologic Gumlar Dragon, chat. I don't think that card is good. I really don't think that card is good. I'll protect your, is it Apophis and negates. Crazy. Deck is bricky now. I think the semi-limited list is setting a new precedent. It's interesting because the semi-limited list in the TCG, chat, they don't really use it that. They definitely don't use it like this, where there's, forget about the cards coming up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let's see, 6. 6 of these cards, chat, are from, like, the top meta decks. I can't remember a time where Konami was like, we're using the semi-list, or we're using the semi-limited section to address 6 cards from the current meta decks. Like, usually it's a lot of, you know, stuff like this, Unchained Soul of Shavara, You know, White Dragon, Wyvern Buster, Black Dragon, Color Serpent. You know, it's usually a lot of this. Morphing Jar, you know, shit like that. Morphing Jar, who cares? But you don't usually get a ton of names from like the best decks of the format, you know? What did you guys think of the Forbidden and Limited list, chat? What did you guys think of that?